What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So for today's horror news update, we have an interesting one, and it's been making its rounds obviously across the horror community. We have two updates for Scream 7, and I have my guesses on what both of these castings could mean or how they could pull them off, and I'll refer back to a previous film that did something similar. But again, if you're part of the horror community, you've obviously saw that these two castings came out late yesterday, which again, a lot of people started talking about them. So we're just gonna get right into the details. So we know Scream 7 has been, it seems like every other day we get some sort of new casting news, and the last few castings that we've gotten, one of them was a surprise, especially for Patrick Dempsey not returning. We all thought he would return as Kincaid and would be Sidney Prescott's husband, but that turned out not to be the case. Someone else has been casted for that. But and again, I thought that I wasn't fully, so I was a bit surprised, not fully surprised, because I did think that would have made logical sense even if it was a cameo for Dempsey to come back and play that role. I would have been okay with him being just a cameo for Scream 7, because obviously the focal point is going to be primarily on Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott's character returning. So again, I would have been okay with him returning. I'm okay with him not returning. So either way, it's a wash. Now, these two castings we're going to talk about today are a bit of a surprise, but again, I have two theories on how these characters are going to be used. So we're going to jump into this first one here. Actually, we're going to cover both articles first, and then I will give my theories on how they'll be used. So Scream 7 adds Scream 3 actor Scott Foley to the cast. So as the cast for Scream 7 continues to grow with filming now underway, a new puzzling addition has just been announced. Deadline reports that Scream 3 actor Scott Foley has joined the cast. The seventh installment will hit theaters on February 27th, 2026. So we're about a year and a month away, a little under a month away before this hits theaters. Naturally, character details are under wraps at this point, but Foley previously played Roman Bridger, the half-brother of Sidney Prescott, who was revealed to be Ghostface in Scream 3. Roman didn't survive the events of the third entry, so start speculating now whether Roman will get resurrected in some way, or whether Foley's casting hints toward a more meta approach in the upcoming sequel. The only plot details released so far is that the seventh installment is expected to return the focus to Sidney Prescott and her family. If Foley does wind up reprising Roman Bridger, that further supports Scream 7 as a Prescott family affair. So we have all this is just casting information as far as Scream 7 goes. We jump down here. There was one bit. The original Scream writer Kevin Williamson is directing Scream 7, with Guy Busick is doing the writing. And then we have, again, just a further breakdown of all the other Scream films as far as when they came out, their titles, and then that's pretty much it. So we're now, again, before I give my thoughts on this casting, we're going to jump now to the second one, which I think is more surprising, to be honest, which is the fact that Matthew Lillard officially confirmed for Scream 7. So this came out afterwards, as you can see here, fresh off the news that Scream 3 star Scott Foley has joined the cast of Scream 7. Deadline has reported the massive news that Matthew Lillard is also returning to the franchise. Lillard has made no secret of the fact in recent years that he believes Stu Marker is still alive, and that he'd love to make his return to the Scream franchise. At this time, we can't tell if Lillard is playing Stu in Scream 7, or the film is taking a unique approach to bringing back past actors from the saga, but a post from Lillard on Instagram tonight suggests Stu is very much alive. Check out Lillard's post below and start speculating, which we'll do so here in a moment. Matthew Lillard, Stu Macher, was of course one of the original Ghostface killers in Wes Craven's Scream. His character, long believed to be dead after being stabbed multiple times and getting a television set dropped on his head. That's a spoiler, but I can't imagine any of you have not seen Scream. I think it came out in 1995, 1996. So if you have not seen Scream by now, odds are you had no plans of seeing Scream, period. So whether that's a spoiler really for you or not, I mean, go find out. Similarly, Scott Foley's Scream 3 character Roman Bridger was presumably killed off in that movie, so it's hard to tell what's going on here. Are actors, including Lillard and Foley, playing themselves in Scream 7, with the film taking a new nightmare approach to the Scream franchise? Are they playing brand new characters, or indeed reprising their roles from the franchise's past, the ghost of Ghostface past? And again, as we just literally covered, the release date of Scream 7, the casting on Scream 7. So, but here's the post that they were referring to. If we hit play here, he's writing on there, "My mom and dad are going to be so mad at me," which was a key line that he said at the end of the original Scream when he was on the phone talking to Neve Campbell after she had escaped from the kitchen and they started trying to find her. And again, that's where the article leaves off. I think this note here does put forth that he's going to be playing Stu, and Stu is alive. Now let's jump into my theories on this real quick before we wrap up this update. So if you all remember Halloween H2O or H2O, Michael Myers, that was supposedly, when we got that film, he was supposedly killed at the end, right? Jamie Lee Curtis, steals the van, drives off, crashes the van, rolls down the hill, and Michael ends up getting pinned up against a tree branch that has fallen. He can't move. At least that's what we're, again, led to believe in that film. Jamie Lee Curtis grabs an axe and cuts his head off. And then we see the masked head of Michael Myers rolling and pans back up to Jamie Lee Curtis, and we believe that's where it ends. At the time, we thought, okay, Michael Myers is dead, Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode finally wins, beats Michael Myers. Now no more Halloween until we probably get a reboot or a remake. And I'm not going to get on that soapbox for this update. Then we got what? Halloween Resurrection. Only to find out we get this a little bit of a flashback of how Halloween H2O really ended. So when Michael Myers fell off the inside, balcony down onto the ground, and we thought he had, Jamie Lee Curtis, or all of us thought he might have died right there, he didn't. So presumably what happens is paramedics come in, Michael, awakens, kills one of the paramedics, swaps clothes and the mask with him. And doing so, though, he crushes his, larynx, his voice box, where he can't talk. So now he's wearing Michael's clothes, his mask, he's put into the body bag. So Jamie Lee Curtis did not, in fact, kill Michael Myers. She killed one of the paramedics. But again, we all didn't know that. So let's take that example and apply it here briefly. So unless we're led to believe that somehow both the, Roman and Stu, seeing how we thought they met their demise, if somehow they, got up off screen, and we're going to see that somehow in a flashback sequence when their characters are, discovered in this new Scream 7. So let's say like Stu, for example, if he plays Ghostface again, and it's revealed, oh, Stu is still alive, and then he tells the tale of how he survived being stabbed and having a TV dropped on his head. And when you see that in the original Scream, you see that he's almost being electrocuted as well. That's how his body is moving, and then he just stops moving, and you presume he's dead. So again, unless he's going to somehow explain, well, I wasn't really dead. I was just, knocked out. I pushed the TV off my head and I escaped throughout the back door before the police showed up. And if the same concept is applied to Roman as well, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, because if we look at Stu, he's unconscious, TV on his head, and when all the cops and everyone show up, you would assume then that they're going to find his body, and if he is still alive, he would have been taken to the hospital, arrested. Same thing with Roman. Unless they somehow escape police custody or escape the hospital, it's going to be a very intricate story on how they're going to explain that these two characters are still alive, assuming they are alive, assuming that we're not just going to be using them for flashback sequences that we never saw in those films. So, for example, Matthew will be doing new scenes for Stu, which again wouldn't make sense because, the drastic now age difference of these two individuals in the real world compared to what they looked like back then, that wouldn't make sense either. So either they're going to have to explain very cleanly how they survived and not have it look just absolutely stupid, and make complete a farce of Scream 7, and be like, that is just the dumbest way to bring these two characters back. It makes zero sense. Or they're going to be playing two completely different characters, or not going to be playing their original characters, and they're just bringing them back as part of Scream 7 as a potential, like, again, I've mentioned this before, like a swan song, that, hey, we're bringing them back because this could be Neve Campbell's last appearance, or Neve Campbell's not coming back after this, and we're moving on from all of these, the whole Prescott storyline. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, I was surprised to see the first casting with Scott, but the fact that Matthew's been casted, and then Matthew puts that post out there on Instagram, leads me to believe Stu is coming back, but I just don't know how they're going to do it with it making sense based on how these two characters were killed off in their respective films, Scream 1 and Scream 3. So, well, I mean, as the article states, and as every article has stated on this film, a lot of the details are being kept under lock and key. So I think it's going to be a long time before we even get any idea, and that's assuming they even show these two characters, or what these two actors are going to be portraying in a teaser trailer or trailer, which, again, we're a year and a little under a month out before this film even comes out. So we probably won't even get a trailer until early fall of this year. So we have another 7-8 months potentially before we even get a first trailer for this film, and that's assuming even by then we even get anything about the story. So anyways, that's going to do it for today's horror news update on Scream 7. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard coming back to the Scream franchise, and more than likely coming back to their original roles that they portrayed in the original Scream and in Scream 3. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And to all new and existing subscribers, thank you so much for the support. It is greatly appreciated. And we will see you at the next one. Peace.